Lake Mead at 31% of its capacity. Experts call for cutting water use along Colorado River. Yes, as of mid-2025, Lake Mead, the nation's largest reservoir, is at 31% of its capacity, reflecting a near-crisis situation due to decreasing Colorado River flows and increasing water demand from a growing population. The Colorado River's massive reservoirs are now so depleted that another dry year could send them plunging to dangerously low levels, a group of prominent scholars warns in a new analysis. The researchers are urging the Trump administration to intervene and impose substantial cutbacks in water use across the 7 states that rely on the river: California, Arizona, Nevada, New Mexico, Colorado, Utah, and Wyoming. "We've got a real problem, and we ought to deal with it sooner rather than later," said Jack Schmidt, director of Utah State University's Center for Colorado River Studies, who co-authored the analysis. "Everybody needs to be looking at ways to cut right now." The Colorado River provides water for cities from Denver to San Diego, 30 native tribes, and farming communities from the Rocky Mountains to northern Mexico. The river has long been overused, and its reservoirs have declined dramatically amid persistent dry conditions since 2000. Research has shown that the warming climate, driven largely by the use of fossil fuels, has intensified the long stretch of mostly dry years. A meager snowpack in the Rocky Mountains last winter added to the strains on the river. The researchers analyzed the latest federal data and found that if the coming winter is just as dry, the river's major reservoirs would approach critically low levels unless there are major reductions in water usage. Near Las Vegas, Lake Mead, the nation's largest reservoir, is now just 31% full. Upstream from the Grand Canyon, Lake Powell, the country's second-largest reservoir, is at 29% of capacity. Federal officials have said they want to keep Lake Powell well above a point where water could pass downstream only through Glen Canyon Dam's low-level bypass tubes. Officials say those 4 8-foot-wide steel tubes could create a bottleneck that limits how much water makes it to California, Arizona, Nevada, and Mexico. Last year, federal officials discovered damage inside the tubes that could further restrict water flow when reservoir levels are low. The researchers carried out their analysis looking at what they called realistically accessible water in Lake Mead and Lake Powell, using critical thresholds established by federal managers.